Hey everyone, today we are here with Rebecca Darling, and she owns the Yogurt Experience, which has been existing in Round Rock for a while, but now they open a new location in Liberty Hill. So stoked to have her here and chat about this. So thanks for being here, Rebecca.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, maybe the how the Yogurt Experience came to be, and of course starting in Round Rock and now opening a second location in Liberty Hill. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So the yogurt experience was actually opened back in 2009 by a brother and sister couple who wanted to create a frozen yogurt shop, but they wanted to do like an all tart one, very similar to what was going on in the California market at that time. And so they opened in Round Rock. They found an ideal location and opened with like all tart flavors. And everyone went, yeah, we have families here. We don't want tarts. So they quickly reinvented and became a successful self-serve yogurt shop. And this is back in the early 2000s when there was a self-serve yogurt shop on every single corner. But they were able to sustain business and grow it enough to when time came for them to go, okay, we want to try a different career path. I stumbled upon the fact that they were for sale and thought, okay, I want a brick and mortar. Why not? Let's try it. And bought the Yogurt Experience. So that was back in 2018. And, I kindly tell my friends at the time, I had no clue what I was doing. I knew nothing about owning a brick and mortar business. My background was in pharmaceutical sales. I did that for 15 years. I worked for Pfizer, moved down to the Austin area from Dallas to become a district manager, and they merged with Pharmacia. And 2 days later, I lost my job. So from there, I became a travel writer. I wrote for several online websites, created my own website on family travel, worked with Disney and Hyatt and Carnival Cruise, and just did a lot of fun things with that. But when my kids became of a sports playing age and I wasn't traveling, I couldn't travel because I'd missed them so much. I created a hyper-local website called Round the Rock. It was based on activities and events in Round Rock. All my neighbors said, you're not going to find enough content and things happening in Round Rock to be able to write a whole website about it. And I proved them wrong because 10 years later, it's still going strong. So fast forward to 2018, when I was looking for something new. I think I call it my shiny new penny. Like I get an idea, I establish it, I have fun with it, and then I'm like, oh, what else can I do? And I found the Yogurt Experience for sale. Bought it the summer of 2018, and probably worked for a month with the previous owner. She taught me just how to run the business. And I remember the very first day I did everything on my own. I went home and sat in my closet and cried for about an hour, thinking, what on earth did I do? I know nothing about running a business like this. And so I limped along for about a year going, how do I put on 12 different hats at once? How do I market? How do I clean machines? How do I hire and train? And as a small business owner, you have to do so many jobs that you didn't anticipate that it really becomes overwhelming. In 2019, I actually was diagnosed with breast cancer and went through an entire summer of chemo trying to learn the business. And then 2020 came, and we all know what happened that summer. Had to close the business for 12 weeks and still continue to pay rent. So it was one challenge after another as a small business owner. And I was so ready to throw in the towel. I remember telling friends, I will pay you to take this business from me, because that's how hard this is. Of course, that wasn't a selling point because no one wanted to buy it. That was hard. The turning point, though, came when I relinquished and became not as prideful, like I can do all this, I can do it, but actually turned it over to a business coach who taught me how to run the business from the top and not actually have to do everything. She taught me to hire people that were so much better at certain jobs, like training and hiring and managing the shop and managing employees, or hiring marketing people. She allowed me to see a vision of what it could be, and what it is now is 2 locations, and we're very excited to have opened our second shop in June, or actually the end of May. We opened on the very last day of school for Liberty Hill ISD, and we've had a really great summer so far in Liberty Hill.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's an interesting story. I mean, it's sorry about your personal struggles there. That really stinks, especially the timing, right? But that's how it
Yeah,
always seems to go, right? But that's the thing about business and entrepreneurship, right? Is it's not easy. So many people try to glamorize it, and there are glamorous aspects of it when you get it right. But usually, especially at the beginning, it's kind of the opposite of that, right? It sounds like you dealt with a bunch of
100%.
those issues at the same time. And would you say this really interesting that what you're describing of you went from basically, tell me if I'm right about this, how I would think about it is you were doing the working in the business, trying to do everything yourself. And then it
Yes,
sounds like this coach kind of helped you to realize that you need to work on the business and
correct.
not in it. Would you say I'm
Correct.
right about that? Or how do you feel about
100%. And that was the verbiage she used, is that you
it? Yeah.
don't need to do everything. You find good people to do it for you. And I didn't have that vision. I thought I needed to do it all.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal, and it's good that honestly, it sounds what's super unique, relatively. What you did is, I think most people, whether it be, it's usually twofold. It's either A, pride, or B, just saying I don't want to spend the money to hire a business coach, even
Yeah,
though it costs money up front, but you probably have made way more in the long run by doing
100%.
that. Right? Yeah.
100%. Every single year we have increased in our net profit and our sales as a whole. And it's just this trajectory that keeps going. So we're very, very, very happy. And I recommend it to everyone who says, "Oh, I can't do a small business. I'm struggling. What do I do? I'm drowning." I have the perfect person for you.
Get a coach. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish I had like 8 coaches, because I think I want to coach for everything that I do, whether it's eating, whether it's the gym, business, finances, right? And I think so many people just think of having a coach as a negative, like, oh, I'm not perfect already. Why? I don't need help. I'll figure it out. And it's bizarre. It's like, especially if you think sports and business, the best people in the world all have coaches. Like LeBron
Right.
James has a coach, right? Like all the biggest CEOs that you've heard of, they have business coaches,
Hmm.
right? A lot of them probably have multiple coaches. So
Hmm.
the best people in the world are doing this. It's probably a good idea for you as
Yeah,
well. Now you're not going to get the same coach.
it's totally the accountability that she holds me to, which that is a big motivator for me. Not everyone has that in them, but internally I want to strive to do the advice that she gives me. But also just her perspective. And it's a female, that's why I keep saying her. Her perspective on our business has been unique and different. And she doesn't hold back. Like she'll say, that is not a good idea. Do not do that. And 99% of the time she's right.
Yeah, because I think what it really boils down to is a lot of business, it is the same, right? Like the concepts and the best practices of businesses are usually either the exact same, or they're just similar. You need to spin them a little differently for a business. And so somebody who's done this 50 times, 100 times with other businesses, even if they didn't do a yogurt shop before, they still have tons of good ideas and advice because they've seen it so much, versus you or somebody like you just saying, well, I know how to run a yogurt shop. So this person's never done a yogurt shop. They still can help an incredible amount.
Correct.
That's why the business coaching world is so much bigger than most business owners realize. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just incredibly massive. I know so many people making really good money being business coaches. It's
Yeah.
because it makes sense. They help businesses. So that's really cool that you did that. Tell me about, I mean, just moving to Liberty Hill, like, or I mean, opening a second location in Liberty Hill. How did that come about? How'd you think about that? Why Liberty Hill? All that stuff.
Sure. So, one unique thing about the yogurt experience is we're not like a typical self-serve yogurt shop where you come in and you do everything yourself. We pivoted a lot with the pandemic in the fact that we put up a glass barrier around our toppings. So, similar to like a Subway style or one of those make your own pizza places, we allow the customer to put as much or as little frozen yogurt in their cup, and then we help them with the toppings. We've had tremendous feedback saying that parents especially do enjoy that aspect, that they feel like it's a much cleaner environment, healthier, maintenance wise, to have it this way. So, the second thing that makes our yogurt shop unique is the fact that we offer a space for families to come and make memories. It's not the yogurt's delicious. It's a healthier choice than what you can do with other frozen treats like ice cream or custard or gelato. However, we are creating an environment for families to get together and play games. We have games all over our tables that are 5 instructions or less, super easy, so parents don't have to be intimidated. We're not playing Monopoly here. And then we host trivia nights. We host a $5 Fill Your Cup Monday to make it affordable for everyone. We do spirit nights for all sorts of organizations. So because I was a parent, I'm a parent, you know what I'm saying, parent of kids in that time period when I was just starting as the owner, I wanted to create an environment where parents put their cell phones down and laughed with their kids and just had a good time. So I approach where I'm going and how I'm growing with that in mind, that yogurt is great, but the primary goal is to create fond memories with your family and friends. And so, around the 2020-21 time period, both of my older children graduated high school in Round Rock, and we just had one younger one, and we felt like it was time to get out of the city. So we found 10 acres out in Burnett and built out there. And so for 2.5 to 3 years, we would be driving through Liberty Hill, commuting from the various places. My husband works in the Austin area. I would go to Round Rock to work on the shop. And we would drive through Liberty Hill going, there is nothing on 29. Every Friday night, the Dairy Queen would have like 30 cars just sitting in line waiting to get ice cream. And so initially, both my husband and I are like, we're not in a place where we want a second location. In February of 24, we finally looked at each other and went, pull the trigger. Let's just do it. And so we did have a few bumps in the road. Unfortunately, I hired the wrong person, and I'll just leave it at that. Because it delayed us significantly to get built. We were anticipating opening in January or February, but God's timing is everything. We hired an amazing GC who pulled out all the stops and got us open by the last day of school. I said, I want to open before summer starts, and he did it. We picked Liberty Hill mainly because we felt like there was a need for what we provide. A sweet treat, a frozen treat, but also just a family hangout. The growth out here is just crazy. And so we wanted to capitalize on that as well.
That makes so much sense. I mean, even today, I'm seeing more. I was driving over on 29 by Ronald Reagan, and more stuff being the trees torn down, and for what looks like it's going to be, massive developments. It's great. So I think that was very smart, is to get into this area. And you're so right too about just the lack of that kind of thing. I mean, we go to Cedar Park, we go to the Menchie's there all the time, and it's just because that's the one that we know is there. I don't, until you open, I don't think there was anything other than Dairy Queen, your point, which is just like, that's a different experience, right? And that's why it's funny your name has experience in it, which works out from what you're saying, right? Which is make it more than just, oh, it's a place to go get dessert, right? Like, and I think that's really cool. I think so much of the world, has moved in that direction, since COVID, and it sounds like you capitalized on that really well. Tell me about. So are you saying that? Because I haven't been over there yet. I'm going to go soon, but you built the building, or this was already existing?
No, it was a shell. It was a
shell. Okay. So
it was a commercial space that we were the first owners of that spot, or the first business in there. So we built the walls, we put the ceiling in, everything. And again, hire the right person to do all that for you, because I know nothing about building. I've learned a lot, but definitely don't want to tackle that kind of project again. I mean, I'm saying building.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah. So what does that mean? Are we not planning the third location yet? Not wanting to go through that?
It's so funny. I have so many people ask me, they're like, when are you opening your third? Where's it going to be? And I'm like, that is like asking a new mom who just had a baby, when's your next child coming? That's a lot.
So
Yeah, we're toying with an idea of other locations or possibly franchising because I feel that we have something unique here. I'm pretty proud of the fact that we do have delicious yogurt, but also again going back to the experience, the feedback I get is really heartwarming, and it just makes me so happy to be in there and have loud, laughing families that are playing slapjack with each other and making lots of noise. And I'm like, bring it on, let's do it.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I
I
love
want
that.
to see more of that in the world.
I agree. I agree. Too many places like this are just boring and awkward, and uh, yeah, that's really good. So, how has the community response been? I mean, is everything going well?
Yeah.
Tell me, especially I'm interested in the like how you mentioned what you call it, like spirit nights or something. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Where
Yes.
like tell me about that, because I feel like that's another great community thing that kind of it helps you and it helps the community and it
Right.
helps just the people coming to get dessert, like to feel good about it. It's kind of a win-win-win. So tell me about that.
Absolutely. So Liberty Hill has opened us with welcome arms, and we have felt the enjoyment that people have when I'm in the shop and people ask, "Are you the owner?" Thank you so much for opening in Liberty Hill. We need this so bad. So we are so excited that this is where we chose because the families coming in are just so appreciative have to offer. We one way we partner with the community, and we've done this for years in Round Rock, is to host spirit nights. And so what that means is any type of organization, booster club, PTA, sports teams, Girl Scouts, even if there's like a family in need and a fundraiser is needed, we host what we call spirit nights, where they invite their crowd, their community in, and we give 20% back of the entire day's sales to that organization. It's a great way, especially as a new business, to invite people who normally wouldn't come in. And we have had tremendous response of people like just clearing their whole neighborhood and saying, "Come on in, let's go support youth football." And I've had some of the largest spirit nights out here in Liberty Hill than I've ever had in all the time I've hosted them in Round Rock. We did the same thing for the flooding that recently happened. We host what's called a $5 fill up your cup on Monday. It is a 12-ounce cup that they can fill up with as much yogurt as they want, and then they get 2 scoops of toppings, and it only costs $5. We don't weigh it. We're just like, here you go, $5. We did that strategically as a small business. We started it back in Round Rock a few years ago. Idea from my business coach to take our slowest day and turn it into what is now our biggest selling, most profitable day. To be honest,
Oh, really?
yeah, it really is. Just because we made it affordable for large families to come in, for groups of people to host together, and it's really gone gangbusters. And again, back to just seeing the appreciation and love from the community, saying thank you for doing something like this and making it affordable. And I hear people say all the time, "Oh, I'm not going in until Monday." I'm like, come on in on Monday. I don't care. Um, strategically, it has trickled over. It has given us a lot more of awareness into just different things we provide the community. But for 2 weeks in July, after the flooding happened out here, and specifically in Liberty Hill, we hosted 20% back on all $5 fill up your cup Monday, and we were able to get back to the Liberty Hill community so very quickly because the generosity of the clients both in Liberty Hill and Round Rock. So that was really cool.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think it's so great. And I also love, just as a business guy, I love hearing stories like this. Okay, so Mondays, you would just assume that, right? Mondays probably be not a great day for something like this. So how do you turn it into a great day? And not only is it work, but it became the best. That's really, really interesting. I love that. Yeah, that's really cool. So like, it sounds like you obviously struggled quite a bit at the beginning. And then of course everybody, the whole COVID thing. Yeah. Tell me real quick, cause I'm curious, cause I know I moved here, like 6 months after COVID, but it seemed like North Austin, I know Austin City, whatever, but like, the Round Rock, Leander, whatever, our area up here wasn't as impacted as many places once people kind of got over it, let's say. But as a brick and mortar business here, how bad was it? I'm honestly just personally curious. Like, how was that with the brick and mortar during COVID?
Well, I will say, even thinking about it triggers anxiety inside of me, to be honest. As at that time we were open, I was the new business owner still considered because it was only 2 years since I had gotten the shop, not even 2 years. And we pretty much, well, I mean, at the time, you didn't know what you were encountering as a small business owner. You didn't know, like, if I stay open, are people going to come? If I close, are people going to support me when I do? And so we followed the guidelines that the government put out. And that was with Wilco, Williamson County, and the city of Round Rock. And we had to close for 12 weeks fully, which was difficult because I had our biggest commodity is our yogurt, and we had to turn those off for 12 weeks. Machines that have never been turned off because they house the yogurt all night long. And so it was scary to have to go and completely shut the business down. From a personal standpoint, I personally loved having my kids at home, and we did a lot of fun things to bond and yeah, those memories are great, but being a business owner really was not cool. So as soon as they allowed us to be open, we had to find a way to open up and pivot and try to make some income. Because like I said, I still had rent to pay. Unfortunately, our complex was owned by investors who are not in this area. And they were like, we're sorry, but we have bills to pay too, so we need you to pay rent. So we had to open as soon as we could possibly open, and we pivoted and just opened with 2 machines, and we pushed all the tables to the side. And I remember it was my daughter and I working, and we did curbside pickup, and we offered a cup of yogurt with 2 or 3 individually wrapped toppings, and we would deliver it to your car, and you could have a treat at home. And the community, they supported us. They really did. They came out and really ordered online and brought it to the car. And, there was a lot of sleepless nights during that time just because we had to figure out a way to still provide a product, still make some sales. And gradually, as things became a little more relaxed, we had tables outdoors, and we would allow them just to come in and out of the shop. And we would put up temporary plexiglass around the toppings, because at the time the toppings were open to the public. And we slowly but surely opened back up. And again, you have those debates of like, well, do I require masks to be in the shop, or do I not require masks to be in the shop? And half the community will support a mask mandate, and the other half will be mad that you are having a mask. You know what I mean? It's like you couldn't please the whole world. You really couldn't. And so you just had to keep trudging. And I will say, I knew of a lot of restaurants and frozen treat specific shops that did not reopen. They just didn't. They didn't want to work through the issues. They didn't want to persevere, or it was just easier to go, I'll take a loss. So it was, looking back on it, a very, very scary time to be a small business owner. And I am very thankful that we persevered and came through on the other side. And then funny, that next winter was when I met my business coach in 2021. Yeah. Yeah.
Is this person, are they local?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Nice. Awesome. Cool. Well, what has you excited right now? Obviously, it sounds like things are going well with both locations. Sounds like you have a cool pad now with a bunch of land, which is cool. But as far as whether personally related out here locally or business wise, like what are you excited about in the near future?
Well, I'm always excited about a new challenge, and Liberty Hill is definitely. Don't get me wrong. We were super busy all throughout the summer because the kids were out of school. And now that kids are back in school, we're trying to find creative ways to either increase business through the 3 o'clock, school bell rings, or try to find some daytime business. So we're trying out something new this week. We're going to stay open after the football games. What I'm learning here in Liberty Hill is that everyone supports the football games. And I love that because we didn't have that so much in Round Rock, and probably just it's a different community. It's a bigger community, and there were 5 different high schools there. But here with the 2 different high schools, town business people put up flags along the road, and everyone dresses in the colors, and so we've decided to stay open after all the football games to be a place that families and teens can hang out and get a sweet treat after the football game. So we're anxious and excited to see how that works out. I am just excited about what the future could hold for the yogurt experience. Like I mentioned, it's not it's still a dream of mine to be able to franchise this, because I think the concept is so unique. I think it's and it's simple. It's not like this is a hard concept, but I would love to see this spread wide. I really would. And one thing I've learned with my business coach is to dream big and to write down those goals. And personally, she has challenged me to write down, where do I see myself in 5 years? What do I want to do in 5 years? A lot of that involves travel. I love to travel. I mentioned earlier, I was a travel writer for a long time. So now as my kids are leaving the nest, my husband and I are making plans, and we have a 5-year travel plan of where we want to go, and I can't tackle it. So just the ability to see excitement in the future makes me really excited. So.
That's great. How excited are you about, let's say, Liberty Hill's growth in general? I mean, your location is at least relatively close to like where the Costco is going, and where the 183 and 49er is it?
Yeah.
I mean, relatively in that area.
We're actually pretty far away from that, and I'm cool with that, to be honest.
Oh, are you? Okay.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
How many miles are you from there?
Well, we are down by the QT Mojo's Coffee. I would say 6 or 7 miles. I don't know. I'm not a good judge of distance, but far enough to know, maybe we won't have a ton of standstill traffic. I think that's a big concern a lot in the community. I'm excited from a business owner standpoint of these big businesses allow our community to reap the benefits of sales tax, right? So instead of driving down into Cedar Park to do your shopping at the Costco there's going to be a Costco here in Liberty Hill, and we're going to be able to reap the benefits as a town and as a community for that. If I could be perfectly honest, if a chain yogurt shop goes in at the Costco, that kind of concerns me. I am such a proponent of small businesses and supporting small businesses that having a corporate owned shop, which most of those are, to share the customer base, it can be nerve-wracking for a small business. That said, I'm here now, and I am fully trying to immerse myself in this community so that the community in turn sees the importance of supporting the small businesses long term to keep us here. So mixed feelings, I guess, to say.
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The way I like to think about it is, even if, well, obviously that's an assumption right now, if something else would come in, but also I think the idea of the Costco Target thing coming in is and primarily with the freeway opening, it's just going to make Liberty Hill grow even bigger and faster. So the pie is going to get bigger, right? So even if you say, like, in theory, just, okay, your percentage went down, but the pie was bigger, that the lower percentage is actually more people, more customers, and more money, because the area has way more people coming here and being here, living here, that it can actually, it's like the whole having a competitor doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You can both grow because there's just so many more people.
I agree with you. I really do. There's enough room on the playground for all of us to play.
Yeah. But you have the angle, being Liberty Hill is a very close-knit, much more close-knit type of community, than say a Round Rock. That you'll probably have more people purposefully supporting you versus the corporate store, where maybe that's less true in some of the more homogenous communities have been large for a very long time. So I would think that would be an advantage for you for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yep.
Yeah, awesome. So let's. I really appreciate you coming on. Is there any way people can support you, other than the obvious of going to the place? Is there anything you want to leave people with?
Yeah. The biggest support, honestly, sometimes is just the online support.
Okay.
People do not realize the impact Google reviews or Facebook comments or shares. They don't realize the impact of word of mouth marketing in that regard. And while I welcome all feedback, I am a huge proponent of how can we make a better environment for our customers. Giving the love online and telling others about us really helps get people in our store. So if there's one thing I could ask is if you enjoyed your experience, take a picture, post it on Facebook or put it in your neighborhood group saying, hey, let's support this business, because that goes a lot farther than me spending advertising budget to put a sponsored post up.
Yeah. And that's especially true when you're newer, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
so many people in the community just don't even know you're there, right? Where if you've been around 10 years, maybe everybody kind of knows you're there, but when you're brand new, like you just need awareness. You
Right.
need people to find out, oh yeah, they are that open. Okay.
Um,
And so yeah, online you're totally right. It's a great way. And especially reviews. As a business owner, I think we all know how important it is. I feel like people who've never been a business owner don't
yeah.
really think about it very much. And it's one
Yeah.
of those things that's like, okay, it take you, 40 seconds to hit the 5-star button and then type 1 to 3 sentences about it. And yet
Absolutely.
that can have such a big impact and be so helpful. The business owners watch this very closely.
Oh,
So you
yes, we
can
do.
actually have an impact in 40 seconds.
Yes, yes. And what we're finding is that people are more apt to put something negative out there than a positive.
That's another.
And that it really hurts a business to bring their rating down, because when you're going to search for something, the algorithm will take into consideration what your star rating is. And so
Yeah.
when you have someone say, something, well, I wasn't greeted when I walked in the door, but they don't give you the perspective of, oh, there were 30 people in this shop. And so it was hard, it's just, I just wish people would take their time and not hit the I'm angry button to bring a business down. And I get on that soapbox for days on
Of
that one.
course, of course. I think the key impact that people should take from this is know that it's just human nature that people generally don't think to proactively say how great
Yeah.
something is, but they have that immediate instinct that I had a bad experience. I need to let everybody know. And so just kind of force yourself to do the opposite, or at
Yeah.
least be more proactive of saying, hey, if I had a good experience, let me put that little bit of effort in. And then you could feel better about if you do give a negative review to some business. It's like, yeah, but at least I've given, 10 positives when they earned it, as opposed to being the person who never writes a positive review, but then
Right.
only writes negative ones. And it's like, well, that's, conscious.
Yeah.
That's not really a good way
Yep.
to do it. So
We
just
could probably talk on that subject for a whole hour, but I not.
yes,
So
exactly. So just leave
yeah,
good reviews when you have a good experience at any local business. It helps a ton, but
absolutely.
especially the yogurt experience. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Um, awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here, Rebecca. And hopefully when I go there soon, you will be there and we can say hi in person.
I would love that. Please come in soon.
Awesome. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.